Earlier this week, people from across the world took action to raise awareness of cancer and to encourage its prevention, detection, and treatment. The efforts taken on February 4th were part of recognizing World Cancer Day 2019, shedding more light on the disease. On Twitter alone, the hashtag World Cancer Day 2019 was used in thousands of various tweets, demonstrating just how big of an impact the disease has on people's lives. In some way, all of us are affected by cancer. Two State University of New York, or SUNYAC, student-athletes are all too familiar with the disease. Geneseo junior women's cross-country and track and field runner Baily Gorman and Oswego women's basketball player Rachael Windhausen, a graduate student, both were previously diagnosed with Hodgkin's lymphoma, Gorman in March 2016, Windhausen in August 2015. But each were able to overcome it. We caught up with the two athletes who carry a new outlook on life and a message of inspiration for all student-athletes in the SUNYAC. Gorman says it was during her senior year as a runner in high school when she eventually began noticing her times in the sport she loved were slower than normal.
I started not feeling great in probably September when cross-country season started, and I just could not hit my times. I wasn't doing as well as I knew that I should have been with the training that I had been putting in, especially over the summer.
It was a few months suffering a nagging cough and feeling exhausted that prompted her mother to arrange an x-ray for Gorman, which led doctors to notice something wasn't right. She and her parents soon went to Roswell Park Comprehensive Cancer Center, where more testing revealed Hodgkin's lymphoma.
I vividly remember my dad almost passed out, and my mom looked like she was about to throw up. And my doctors all just kind of looked at me like, how are you handling this? And the only thing that I could say was, so that's why I've been running so bad.
Windhausen says after a great first-year college experience on the court for Oswego, she eventually began noticing things in her life were becoming a bit unusual.
I was sleeping probably 16 hours a day. It was crazy amount, sleeping a full 12 hours at night and then taking naps during the day. It was crazy. Then I also had some swelling along my collarbone, and I just kind of put it off. I was like, oh, maybe I heard it lifting or something, and it's just there. And then my mom was the one that made me go to the urgent care.
After a sonogram, Windhausen was taken to a primary care physician and underwent a variety of tests for various ailments. Other tests, including x-rays and CT scans, showed multiple masses that proved to be cancerous. For both Gorman and Windhausen, hearing the news was a tough pill to swallow at first, but it didn't take long before both athletes found determination to become cancer-free. Gorman, who had applied early to Geneseo, had also been in touch with a Geneseo cross-country coach, Dan Moore. She was worried about not being able to send him any of her running times for her senior year. He was only worried about her health.
He said, that's fine, get yourself healthy. I want you to be ready. He was like, your team will be here when you're ready.
Meanwhile, Windhausen had to withdraw from her fall semester classes at Oswego, since that was when her treatments of chemotherapy began, but managed to take an online class through the school and two more at Monroe Community College. Additionally, going through treatments meant being away from her team, preventing her from meeting the new incoming freshmen on the basketball squad.
I missed, the new freshmen coming in on the team, and I missed those friendships that I made freshman year, and I couldn't, nurture them the way that you're supposed to.
Gorman and Windhausen would both undergo chemotherapy treatments for months. Despite being kept on the sidelines as they battled cancer, both managed to stay strong.
It was never a question to me whether I was coming back to basketball or not. That was always the end goal. Okay, I got to do this, this, and this so I can go back to school and do basketball.
I think I remained pretty strong throughout the majority of it. It was whatever my doctors told me I had to do, I would do it without even questioning it, because I put all of my faith in my doctors and all the medicine.
And with the support of family, friends, and their schools, both athletes managed to overcome the disease. Gorman finished her chemo and radiation treatments in July 2016, while Windhausen finished her treatments in January 2016. Gorman was able to begin her fall semester at Geneseo, beginning jogging in November, while starting running workouts the following March. Though it took some time, she soon found herself running alongside her Geneseo teammates during their meets.
This team is the largest family that I've ever had.
Windhausen had to get reacquainted with her sport and her teammates. but since then she's bounced back to become a significant presence on the court.
I definitely just appreciate the chance to get out and play.
The two student athletes certainly aren't the only ones who will ever battle Hodgkin's lymphoma. The American Cancer Society estimates that in 2019, more than 8,000 people will be diagnosed with the disease. But as both Gorman and Windhausen have proven, though it's not easy, overcoming the disease is certainly possible. And through their battles, they've changed in many ways for the better.
I would probably say stronger and more compassionate as a person. It just made me think more about the little things in life. Like, those are a lot more important than everybody thinks.
You appreciate the smaller things more, and the friendships that you make and everyone that touches your life, you really appreciate that more.
And with new perspectives, both Gorman and Windhausen hope their stories can inspire all conference student athletes to be the best they can be, both on and off the field.
I don't take for granted as much as I did before, and I try to make every day count, live it like it's your last. It's kind of cliche, but it's true. When your normal routine is interrupted, you realize that, things that you take in for granted shouldn't be.
It's important to just be there for your teammates. Just check up on them, make sure that they're doing okay. You can't ever get complacent. You have to keep giving everything you can, whether it's school or running or your friendships. It's just important to give everything that you do 100%.